How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. I'm your host, Steven, with my lovely, somewhat nice to me co host, JT. And today, we just want to let you know that every frequency has a signal, and ours just got a little bit stronger. Tuning in today is someone who's just as comfortable talking slashers as superheroes, who can break down a hockey game with the same passion as a blockbuster, and probably has another book waiting on his nightstand. He's here to bring a whole new perspective to the conversation. Everybody, welcome our newest host, Mike. Welcome to the show.
And thank y'all for having me. Steven, you make me feel a lot cooler than I think I really am.
Nah, you're
That
super
was a
cool.
heck of an intro, dog.
Hold on.
I appreciate
Well,
y'all
today-
having me here, man.
Okay. Well, you said y'all, but okay.
Oh, are you
Anyways.
JT? You don't think I'm cool?
No. You know what, Steven, first off, let's rewind that for a second. Sometimes nice to you. What are you talking about? There's
No, he's
We
already
just
starting
got
with
over
it.
this
He's
in the
already
pre-show.
starting with it.
We just got over with the pre-show. I'm not even going to jump into it. I'm going to get angry.
the people don't know. They don't have to know. So
They're gonna. I might just post the pre-show and the full thing right now. So
if y'all want to know the
Ooh.
behind the scenes of what happens on this show, just let us know. How about that?
Patreon.
yeah, maybe we'll start that as a segment. We'll do little pre-show chats, and you can really see
BTS.
the things that we say.
I don't
I
know.
promise- I
we
promise
we
you-
have to have. There has to be a paywall so we can say there can't just be like
That is true.
YouTube won't
it can't
allow
be
it.
free.
No.
No.
Yeah, no. The stuff that normally when we get on to record, we don't actually record until 30 minutes to an hour after we say we're going to get on. So, that's how it goes. That's just how it goes. But we have a wonderful episode to talk to you guys about, and some nice little info because if you have been following our social media, oh boy, then you know that as you're listening to this episode, it is going to be currently July 28th, meaning TikTok, the clock has struck, and you probably have already heard the news. So should we delay it a little bit, or should we wait until the end of the episode to let them know?
I think that would be a fun little tease. Just let's wait till the end of the episode so they can get the last reveal.
I
Dang, that
like it.
sucks. I'm not going to be here for it. It's going to dip out a little early. So y'all are going to be revealing it on the reveal of my reveal. It seems like I was set up for failure here, boys.
This is your hazing.
is the
I've got to
haze,
take it
yep.
somewhere, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
you
That's
got
right.
This is what happens. This is what happens. No, we do have a very fun episode. Some kind of why did a certain company not do what another certain company did? Because that certain company that actually did the thing has been making headlines for all the positive reasons. But before we get into that, like we mentioned at the top, we're very happy to have Mike here on the show. If you have been following our social medias, you're probably like, wait a minute, is this the same guy that was talking about Evil Dead Burns? Yes, this is the same guy that was talking about that. So
Just went to the
Mike,
stash.
yeah, Mike is very excited to bring a horror level different to this this podcast. It's not like we don't like horror, but Steven was being a somewhat great friend to me because I don't really care for that genre, but Steven does like it, and now he has a partner in crime that they can chit chat all about horror and whatnot, and I'll just be in the side with my little nightlight and my stuffed animals.
We'll get you into the darkness soon enough.
We'll see.
Yeah,
For
see.
sure.
But
I'm happy to. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, hey, let everyone know more about you. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just Steven, I think covered a lot of what there is to know about me. I like horror movies. I like hockey. I like shredding on my guitar. And I like cutting it up with my bros. So that's why I'm here. I can't wait to deliver some bloody goodness to y'all. And I can't wait to have y'all introduce me to stuff that I wouldn't normally be privy to. JT mentioned the movie Hamnet to me not too long ago. That movie is awesome. Jesse Buckley is incredible, and I would have never watched that on my own accord had JT not mentioned it. So I'm looking forward to things of that nature too. Anything from the pages to the screen, to the fretboard, to the scene, I'm on it, dog.
Nice little barge
Sure.
right there. I see what you did there. But like I said, we are very excited to have you. Hopefully I can speak for Steven. This was a very easy decision to have you on board. It was one of those where Steven and I literally just kind of texted each other at the same time about the same thing. And we were like, yep, all right, done. That was it. So,
well, I appreciate it, because y'all had mentioned that y'all were trying to start something that I've been a big fan of for a while now, the previous iterations of what you've been doing. So I'm just really happy to be a part of this new era and just watch it thrive, man. This thing is going to be awesome. It will be.
Yep. So if you are not
100%.
following our social media, we're everywhere. Literally, we are everywhere. So
can't get away from us.
Yeah. So go check us out. I currently have a new, on our sister podcast, Past the Silver Screen, started a new like series, I guess you can call it, video series of this fun little movie game called Big Screens Little Sentences. It's very fun. Go check it out.
Have you revealed it yet?
On the first episode we have. The second episode is up now. So
the first one was what I thought it was, wasn't it? I didn't text you, but it was what I thought it was, wasn't it?
I don't know what you're thinking of.
What was do you have the hint?
I do.
In front of you or anything?
I can read it off on the podcast here. It says, and maybe y'all can discuss and see what we get. A mission beyond the bounds
Mission
of
Impossible.
possibility. You didn't let me finish.
Sorry.
You didn't let me finish. Anyways, yes, you got it correct. It was Mission Impossible.
That was one of the easy ones, though, so it'll get harder over time. Yeah.
Yes, but some of the
because it literally gave you the.
Yeah, some of the hard ones are also very easy. But so far, as of this recording, since I've uploaded the second episode of Big Screens Little Sentences, we've already had many people comment the answer to that one. So people are playing along, and we would love to have more people.
For sure.
We love engagement. We want to hear from y'all.
We love engagement.
Especially like our opinions are our opinions, so we want to hear y'all's too. You know, like if there's something that I say about a horror movie or something like that, there's something JT says about Marvel, which JT's not going to miss with Marvel, guys. I'm sorry to tell you, but he's not going to. Steven's not going to miss with anything that has to do with any sort of culture. So I'm going to tell you, I might miss though. I might miss.
No.
Hey, that's all right. That's what we're here for. But today's episode is really fun just because, like JT kind of mentioned earlier, there was one specific company that was at San Diego Comic-Con and quite literally tore the walls down because some of the news we got was pretty insane. And the other company just didn't show up.
Some might say that this one company burned the walls down with some announcements.
Yeah. You know what? On that note, JT, I will take my leave, and I'm just gonna say it. Ryan Gosling's Ghost Rider. Love you, boys. You guys take it easy. Discuss that.
Have a good one.
I'll talk to you later, boys.
Thank you for joining in.
See you guys.
Thank y'all.
He was like a guest caller.
It was a guest call, and obviously, you know, Mike is going to be on the show more often. I mean, he is our co-host. This is the guy we're running with. Yeah. We put the contract on the table. We put it in front of him. He didn't even read the terms and conditions, so he signed his life to us, and that's just it. It is what it is.
It is, yeah. We now have his life, so I hope he hears this. I hope he knows this. We have his life, and we let him, you know, have his little night out. But we said just be on for your intro, and then you know, this is your one, you know, your one strike. Don't let it happen again.
Yeah, we're good bosses. I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somewhat.
Yeah,
well, getting into the meat and the potatoes of everything. I mean, we can start off with what Mike just led off with. Ryan Gosling is Ghost Rider.
Black Panther. Wait.
He's the wrong mistake of the century. Sorry. Black Panther was right there. I know JT was really vouching for it. A lot of those accounts that you see post those pictures are actually just JT.
It's just me.
But
I've been
JT.
It's just not even Ryan Gosling. That's my face.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that we were. What was funny enough is if you again, I'm gonna plug all of our stuff because why not? If you were
Yeah.
following our Facebook page, first and foremost, thank you so much. Then you would have seen that Steven was literally every moment live
Hmm.
updating with updates from SDCC and Hall H and the Marvel panel and everything. So he was on top of it, and it was absolutely a blast because I was celebrating my birthday dinner um, that night, and so we were sitting there. And shout out to Cinna Josh, he was there. Him and I were
Hmm.
literally just on our phones, just updating and updating. So shout out to Josh, we appreciate it. Appreciate you coming to dinner. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. The dinner was because we got to update, see your update, Steven, and then talk about it with my friends. They were all there. And the first one, I mean, right off the gate, Ryan Gosling as your new Ghost Rider coming to theaters in 2028, directed
Hmm.
by Sean Levy. Now, there is where I think a lot of people are like, I think a lot of the excitement was like, yes, Ryan Gosling. Oh, Sean Levy.
Hmm.
And while his, discography is, or I guess filmography is a little on the not great side, we do need to mention that he holds the directorial, name for the highest grossing rated R movie in Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes, I understand everyone while you're saying, but JT, yes, it is a Marvel movie. Yes, it has a bunch of cameos. Yes, has nostalgia in it. Yes, it is Deadpool, but it is a rated R movie. So technically, he does have the highest grossing rated R movie. And not to mention, it sounds like Disney is pretty happy with him because he's doing the next Star Wars Starfighter movie coming out next year in 2027. So I think they're pretty happy with him. They've got to be if they're going to let him direct a brand new character in the MCU and one as
Hmm.
popular as Ghost Rider. And him and, Sean Levy and Ryan Gosling have a very good connection. So, like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Their friendship is
if
great.
Ryan, yeah, if Ryan Gosling is at bat for Sean Levy, hey, I'm not gonna sit here and dog the guy. Like, yeah, maybe he doesn't have some great films, but he has films with the right company that have done really good. So you got it right there.
Yeah, and I would say like when I saw the Sean Levy announcement, I mean ultimately my initial reaction was like excitement. I was like, you know what, I can get behind this because he's had some great action moments. He knows how to write a heartfelt scene. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine was it was all over the place and everything it achieved. And I think that if you look at Deadpool and Wolverine and you take the action out of it, you got to be really excited for Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
The only other person I could really see directing a movie like this is and I don't think this is a hot take, but I would maybe even throw the bag in there for Sam Raimi because
Mm,
that's somebody who can really do
mm.
horror really well. I think that would have been a really fun movie. It would have been a different tone, obviously. I don't think, and I think the little tangent here that I want to go on is a lot of people assume that Ghost Rider is now just going to be a comedic relief character,
Yeah.
and we don't even know which Ghost Rider Ryan Gosling is going to be playing. We have
Exactly.
no idea
Exactly.
about what this movie is. And Kevin Feige also said like he's going to give Ryan the keys to share the information when he wants to share it. And I think that's huge for Kevin Feige. That makes me think that he trusts Ryan Gosling and Sean Levy so much that he's like, you know what? Yeah, this announcement is going to be out of my hands, and I'm just going to give it to the guy who's playing him and the director. Like that's
Yep.
big.
Yep, I agree wholeheartedly. Like 100%. If this is the way that I mean, and it seems like that's how Kevin Feige kind of works. Is he's gonna have he wants Marvel to have a presence at these big events, but he's also going to let the actors and the directors and everything reveal it. He's not going to be the one. He used to be the one to be like, now look at this movie we have. Look at this movie. But as you saw during this entire panel, he didn't. I mean, he just was kind of on stage, just kind of mediating it. Like he wasn't really like he'd say like, this is what we're going to talk about. Here's this person to talk about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that he has that trust in his actors and the directors directing these movies that he can just be like, "Oh, yeah, y'all can handle it because I know y'all got this." So I was fine with
Right.
that. Um, Regardless of who's directing it, yeah, we finally have Ghost Rider in the MCU. I cannot wait.
And it's just one step closer to Midnight Suns.
I was just
One
about to say that.
singular step closer. Because if the
Yep.
audience doesn't know, JT is an enormous fan of Moon Knight. I
Yep.
am a huge fan of Doctor Strange. We both love Daredevil. We both love Ghost Rider. And this is slowly just creeping its way to a Midnight Suns announcement. I could probably pinpoint a date on that. I would probably say 2030, maybe 2031, maybe a little bit a year after the Mutant Saga.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think that's fair. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But the next announcement that they made after Ryan Gosling, being Ghost Rider, was not as huge of as an announcement that I thought it was going to be. Uh, we got some information for Vision Quest coming on October 14th, 2026. Kevin Feige did state that this was going to be the finale in the WandaVision trilogy. So that's going to be interesting. We know that, Ultron's going to be coming back.
Yep.
I'm I think that is going to be a sleeper hit for Marvel. I think that's going to be Marvel's next to Loki. Cuz
Mm.
I mean, WandaVision took over and we remember the WandaVision days. Like
Yes.
everybody was freaking
Yep.
out week after week. I think
And
Vision Quest is going to be able to achieve the same.
yeah, and I'm also a very big fan of Agatha all along. I thought that
Mhm.
show was great. I thought the way that Catherine Hahn plays Agatha, the way you get the introduction to Billy Maximoff, you know, yeah, I just think that was a fantastic choice, and Joe Locke plays a fantastic Billy. The sigil every time he says it, just to people knew who he was, but you didn't. You just didn't know
Yeah.
until it was finally revealed, and yeah, I loved it. I loved a lot of things about Agatha. It was a to me it was a really good show. Um, but yeah, to end this quote unquote trilogy of television shows for Wanda and having this in Vision Quest, sorry. It does pose the question of what's next for Wanda.
Mhm.
While I don't know if she's going to be in this show because she was not in Agatha, even though there was like teases and mentions of her. She was not in. I mean, we don't know if she's going to be in Vision Quest, but Billy and Tommy are at that teenage level where they can easily join a Champions team, a Young Avengers team.
Mhm.
Maybe start being. Maybe you get that, you know, hint at the end of Vision Quest of maybe you see like a Kamala Khan, Kate Bishop, you know, those type characters show up and be like, hey, we're forming a team, and it's like, whoa, that's awesome, and then start that team like after Secret Wars or whatever the case is. Because
Yeah.
I think it's a little too late to be introducing, you know, the Young Avengers or Champions or whatever you want to call them into the MCU right now. But they are still young enough ish to be, you know, in Secret Wars or after.
Yeah. I would say if I was Marvel, my safe space to be when it comes down to Young Avengers, I don't want to say this in like a malicious way, but I don't think that like general audiences, nerds and comic book fans, we're gonna go eat anything that Marvel throws down on our plate. But when it
Mm-hmm.
comes down to something like Young Avengers, the general audience I don't think is just quite there. So I could see them probably leaning towards like a special presentation or maybe like a series of each episode would be gathering up a new hero. And it kind of gets the audience a little more prepared for if they eventually do a Young Avengers film, which I think would be
Yeah.
kind of fun. But Vision Quest is going to be here very, very soon. I mean, it's going to be 3 months away. So I'm looking forward to it. Uh, After the Vision Quest announcement, we went back into Doomsday. Obviously, this is Marvel's biggest thing coming out other than Spider Man. And we got a few new looks at the movie. I was able to write down some of the quotes that I heard from the film, from the little trailers that they showed to the audiences. Uh, we do get confirmation from Pedro Pascal that Reed and Victor will have a relationship prior to Doomsday. As Pedro Pascal says, they are besties. Uh, but in some footage, I mean, there was a supposedly a clip of Reed screaming at Victor, asking if he did something. He was like, "Did you do this? Did you do this?" Which I just want more Reed and Victor, interactions.
Yeah.
That's really the nucleus of their characters. Is like they have that rivalry together.
Hmm.
Um, But another big thing too is we heard of a woman's voice, and people are saying that it was Vanessa Kirby. I heard the leaked audio; it didn't really sound like her much. People are thinking that it could be like Victor's mother talking about Victor was like a good person. He was caring, loving, sweet, and everything he loved got taken away from him, and now he's broken. Um, which makes me just more excited for the movie. I need a Doom that's just gonna be ruthless and it's just gonna do what he believes is right. And from what we got in the leaked little announcements, I think that's exactly what we're getting.
Yeah. I will say that from what I've read online, of course, none of us were there. We were not at SDCC, so we don't know. We weren't in Hall H. Like, we're just hearing this online. So, give or take, any of these, this trailer that was shown was significantly better than the trailer that they officially released a couple of weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago. That is the constant that I've been hearing. People
Yep.
that were like on the edge of if they were hyped or not were immensely hyped after this one. And I know you have it in your notes, but I think what did it for people was that Thor line, the Thor and Doctor Doom
Yes.
line. If you want to go ahead and say that, because it gives me chills every time I hear it.
It is so cool. So in the moment that JT is mentioning, Thor says to Doom, "You'll beg for hell before I grant it." And Doom's only response is, "Hell answers to me."
Mm,
And that is just so
mm,
tough. And I can only
mm.
imagine what it sounds like with, Victor's accent, which I mean, I think it was solid. And that trailer that we actually officially got, hearing it, it sounds I didn't even recognize it was RDJ at first. And then afterwards you can kind of hear it, but it sounds so good. He sounds menacing and he sounds like
Yeah.
cryptic in a way. It's
Yeah,
so
if
good.
if they never announced RDJ playing Doom, if they never, a couple of years ago at SDCC said, "Here's your new Victor Von Doom," blah 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 blah, and we don't get any, maybe the end, like the last trailer before Doomsday, we finally get to see, like, or hear whatever. There's no way I would have never guessed that was Victor Von, or that was RDJ. I would have been like,
No.
"Are you kidding me?" Like, it sounds nothing like him. And look, it's for people to say I don't understand it, I don't like this decision, blah 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 blah. Guess what? RDJ is like, I mean, he is a fantastic actor. He is going to put everything into this role. I mean, as Joe Russo said on stage at SDCC, RDJ got the honor of playing one of the best superheroes, and now he's getting the honor to play one of the best villains. That,
Mhm.
I mean, you've got to have a lot of trust, and you've got to have a lot of, like, cojones, as they would say, to do that.
Yeah.
Now, the big question is on everyone's mind: will the two be together, related? Not related, but like, will there be an issue that, oh, Doom looks like Tony Stark? What's going on here? Apparently, from leakers and scoopers and all these other big name people, which I don't follow religiously, I just see it and I'm like, all right, maybe. It sounds like that's not going to be an issue. It sounds like
Yeah.
that there's no issue behind a lookalike. I don't even think we see Doom's face in this movie.
I don't think so. And I think if we see his face, I think I want to trust the Russos so much that they'll delve in a little deep into inspiration from like body horror movies where his face is just damaged
Scarred
beyond
up. Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
think. Yeah, just totally dismembered and gross and I mean, that's Doom. I mean, he started off just having this little scratch on his face. He thought he was just atrocious and ugly to the world, and then he put that iron mask uh, on his face, just ruining his image forever. So, I mean, if we do, I think it's going to be a look as like the horror of what's underneath the mask, rather than him taking off the mask and it looks just like RDJ, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's Tony Stark. So, and also too, I'm one of the firm believers, and I don't know, maybe you can call me an MCU shill, but I look at other actors out there, and yeah, Killian Murphy is great and everything like that for Doom, but when it's a movie this big and the stakes are so high, I I personally don't know if I would put my trust in any other actor other than RDJ, because you know he's going to bring 110% every single
Hmm.
time. He knows the characters inside and out. I mean, RDJ, he does so much character study on these people too. Like, how many pictures do you think we got, JT, of Robert Downey Jr. reading Doom and reading comic
Yeah.
books in preparation for the role? He fully sunk himself into being Victor Von Doom. And
Absolutely.
I think people that don't like this move are going to be eating their words by the time Doomsday come out.
Yeah. And you
It's
know who else?
it's
You
going
know
to be
who
next
else will
level.
be eating their words? The people who said there's no buildup. Because
Oh my
yes,
god.
okay. Here's what I'll say. I will give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Yes, do we get a very quick introduction to Doom? Sure. Like, yeah, sure. However, this is a multiversal incursion movie with Doom at the helm. We have gotten the multiversal story. We have gotten what incursions are. Heck, there
Mhm.
was 2 movies about them,
Yeah.
a couple TV shows about them. There's your buildup. Doctor Doom is just the guy that they've now inserted instead of Kang. So what like Doom is gonna have his presence. And shout out to the Simp Bros because they have also said it the best. This is gonna feel like, and I'm not comparing the 2 movies. I'm not comparing them at all. But this movie and Secret Wars is going to feel like the setup of Infinity War and Endgame, where in
Mhm.
Infinity War you saw a lot of Thanos fighting the good guys, and then they lost. I assume, and this is just me, we have not seen the movie. The movie comes out in a couple months. Like this is just us assuming Doom is probably going to win at the end of Doomsday to
Yep.
set up Secret Wars, to set up Battle World, to set up a new beginning. And then in Secret Wars, that's where we see the fall of Doom. And maybe he doesn't even die. Maybe he just, you know, gets captured or gets taken away or something. Something happens to him where he's still in the MCU, but he's just not present at the moment. You know what I mean?
He's
Like
plotting his next big thing.
exactly. So to people saying there's no buildup, go watch Multiverse of Madness. Go watch No Way
No Way
Home. Go
Home.
watch go watch Loki. I
Oh,
mean, Loki is. I mean, that's one of the best TV shows that Marvel's ever put out. Like, go watch that just for the heck of it. Anyways, um, go watch the Marvels at the end, post credit scene. Go. I mean, just go watch these other movies, and you'll feel that setup for the incursions for the multiversal stuff. Like, it's all there. You just think because we don't have Doom at the helm of all of this doesn't mean there's no buildup.
right.
If you want to compare it to Thanos, sure, they had the Infinity Saga, which it was about the Infinity Stones, which Thanos wanted to collect. Sure, we didn't see Thanos on screen as a full giant menacing being until what? Infinity War? Really? I mean, we saw him. We
Yeah.
saw him at the end of Endgame, or Avengers, the first Avengers. We saw him at the in mid credit scenes, post credit scenes. But he's always a face. He's always sitting down. He's always doing like chest up. We didn't see him full until Infinity War when he goes and he attacks New Asgard.
And then just
Like
bodies the Hulk and everyone on the ship. And then they
exactly.
set up like, hey, this is Thanos. He's not playing.
Exactly. And that was everyone's reaction. was, oh my God, this guy is
Mm-hmm.
here. He is finally here. Sure, we don't have those little mini things. I mean, we see it in Fantastic Four. We got our first glimpse of Doom in Fantastic Four, but again, the incursions have been happening long before Doom was even a thought, before the
Exactly.
Fantastic Four movies were even a thought. So just having these incursions come back because of everyone's beloved Star Spangled superhero, Captain America, who wanted to go and spend time with Peggy Carter, messed it all up for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, you and this is why, and I love the idea. And sure, like Mike said in the intro, I can talk about Marvel all day and we'll move on here in just a second. But I love the fact that they are giving us a re-release of Endgame because A, not only is it a fantastic movie, B, we're getting 7 extra minutes that will lead straight into Doomsday. So there we have it. Like, it's gonna be exciting. I can't wait for this, but we do have some other information that came out of the cast coming on stage. Because while they were on stage, Steven, who else was there? Who else asked a question?
Man himself, who is wearing I'm gonna get to it. It was Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, but everyone's talking why this color of the suit? Why does it look gray? Why is it blue? Well, thanks to the nerds on the internet and to Ryan Reynolds himself, that shade of blue is named Jean Grey. And I don't think there's any sort of coincidence there whatsoever.
I don't think so.
Uh, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, does this confirm Deadpool's in Doomsday and whatnot? Who knows? My thing is, at this point, I don't even need another trailer. I'm sold for Doomsday already. I
Yeah.
have been.
Yeah.
Like, because I know the Russos also said that like the full cast hasn't even been announced yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we're only in for a bigger treat. And for all the people that want to come at Doomsday going, well, it's just nothing but nostalgia slop. But here's the thing: when it happens in comic books, nobody cares.
No.
The one moment they do it in
No.
movies, when they're going over a really serious thing like incursions, where it does mean that worlds and universes will die, it's a lot more is at stake. So I think Marvel is doing a good job at just pulling in characters, that we've seen before. Because let's say Marvel goes out and they get a whole new cast for X-Men just for Doomsday and to kill him. You know how many fans are going to be like, well, why didn't we just get the Fox X-Men that we wanted so long? This is
Yep.
exactly why. They're going to give
Yep.
you what you love because they're going to take it away from you. And I think that's the best thing that Marvel could do. It's going to go, yep, this is what we have. We're going to honor and respect these people by giving them some sick costumes finally and giving them their
Yep.
moments of glory. And we don't know what's going to happen next. What I presume is everyone's dead, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's sitting there paying the respects to those past movies. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the Fox X-Men were around in the early 2000s, and like, we're getting a Magneto, we're getting a Professor X, we're getting a Cyclops, a Nightcrawler. Like, sure, Gambit's a little odd choice, I'm not gonna lie, but like, because we just saw Gambit in Deadpool and Wolverine,
Mm-hmm.
but he's a part of he is an X-Men, and it was established that that's the universe that he came from. So he was supposed to be in there, but he just wasn't. So a little, kind of, putting a band-aid over the fact of like, well, why is he in here? Well, he was supposed to. That's kind of just how
Yeah.
Marvel does it. Is they kind of just say it in sentences like, oh, he was supposed to be in the Fox X-Men universe. We just never got around to him, but now you have him here. So it's like, okay, sure. But
Yeah.
going back to it, I when some people, especially nerds in general, like, and I don't want to gatekeep, and I don't think a lot of people like to gatekeep, but Steven, have you ever grown up with action figures? And did you keep them away from one another because they shouldn't interact? No. This is a sandbox of just nerds playing with action figures that happen to be real life people.
Yep.
Like,
That's what it's
just get
supposed to be,
over it.
though. Like, do people not remember Secret Wars, the original comics and Secret Wars 2? That was literally just made to sell toys. Like,
Yep.
this is one of those things where Marvel has the golden opportunity because everybody's getting older. You know what? Let's get back on the saddle. One last ride, one last hurrah, and let's just go out with a bang. And
Yep.
it makes sense for the story. You have incursions, you have Battle World. This is exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't understand why
Absolutely.
people just hate the decision so much.
I think it's because we're now in a day and age where everything in every movie needs to be critiqued by some kind of movie critic buff. Like,
Hmm.
hey, I don't when I go see these comic book movies, when I go see anything Marvel, DC, Star Wars, I'm not trying to sit here and say this guy deserves an Oscar. This guy gave the
Yeah,
performance of his life. This guy gets it. Like, bro, they're human beings playing superheroes who aren't real. Come on now. Like
yeah,
so when people are like, this is absolute dog crap, and this would never happen. It's like, bro,
yeah.
like
If you're gonna dissect a comic
just
book movie in reality, you got to really reevaluate what you're watching.
and I'm gonna be honest, and some of our listeners may disagree with me, but I highly doubt they will. If you ever go online and you read some of these people who are hating on this trailer or this movie or this company, whether it be Marvel, DC, Star Wars, whatever, have you always have you noticed, Steven, that they're always either faceless profile pictures or profile pictures of comic book characters or people
Hmm.
who don't show their face or their who they are in actual like I saw one guy tweet and was like, this will be the downfall of Marvel. And I clicked on his profile just to see what he's like or like what else he tweets and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And he has like a picture of like Ghost Rider and Moon Knight half face like it's a cool profile picture. Don't get me wrong, but like, bro, you what are you saying? You're just talking to talk. That's
yeah,
all you're doing, and people love to rage bait, and that's a lot of what this is. And I just am never the one. I never go out to look for the hate in things. I always
right.
say like, okay, could this be better? Sure, but you know, we get a we get a trailer for Doomsday that is essentially a teaser, to be honest,
Yes.
and people are going nuts like about how bad it is. And this one shot, I like you and I have discussed this, right? Where
Yeah.
you know, you as a digital artist will see things that the normal person won't see, and it'll catch you
Right.
off guard. Do you know what really grinds my gears, Steven? And I'm going to go off on a rant right here. So, rant time.
Let's do it.
Um, I never go to a movie, and I never pause the movie frame by frame to tell me if it's bad. I absolutely hate it when people screenshot a part of a movie and say, "Oh, that looks bad. That's terrible."
Yeah.
What are you doing? You deliberately went through that trailer multiple times to then find a one screenshot of this one scene of this teaser trailer where the movie's not coming out for another 5 to 6 months. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we
When you have
doing?
unfinished VFX and you're gonna judge an unfinished scene of like that's just crazy to me. I've never liked it either, and
And
it's just ridiculous.
there's people out there too, and I'll get off my tantrum in a minute. But there's some people out there who are like, "Oh my god, this lightning scene looks terrible." Bro, it's lightning. They're not
Yeah.
gonna they are not, I promise you on everything. They're not gonna get Chris Hemsworth and say, "Hey buddy, we're gonna light you with a lightning bolt." Okay? We're gonna hit you with a lightning bolt. So just stand here with a rod like Benjamin Franklin and get hit by lightning, and then we'll get a shot. Oh, it didn't come out great. Got to do it again, my guy. Sorry. Oh, it didn't look
Just
good.
so the
All
film
right.
bros know that it's all practical.
Like, shut up, dude. Like, oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just
And I
it
love it.
it irks me so much. Like, I'll go and it's for every movie. It's not just for Marvel. I mean, it's a lot of it because
Yeah.
Marvel is probably one of the biggest, successes in this superhero world. But like
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Like Superman had it. Like Supergirl had it. Like it's just, I saw the same thing when Clayface trailer dropped. It's like like, whatever, guys, just watch the trailer. Just
Yeah.
have fun, just nerd out with all of us. Like we don't want hate, but you're causing it. And it's like, come on now.
I agree, and I got two things on my little tantrum that I want to go on.
I'm
One, going
so
back to
here
that
for it.
shot of Thor. People are like, "Oh, he's doing the same exact move from Infinity War." Do you want to know why? It's because that move worked when Thor did it in Infinity War. I'm not gonna change what's not work, or what's like, what's working. I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
doing the same thing. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And secondly, I see so many people complain about the background and oh my gosh, it's why is it so gray? Why is there all this smoke? Well, one, there was probably just a fight that happened. And two, do you want them to fight on a green hill with a blue sky with a sunshine peering over their shoulders and flowers all over the place? Hell no. I want them to be in rubble. I Because here's the thing, the focus should never be the background. Like, yeah, the scene and the environment matters, but when there's more happening on screen, like two people fighting to the death, I'm pretty sure I'm a little more concerned on that than I am if there's an extra cloud in the sky or not, because I don't
Yep.
care. So that's it for my tangent. But yeah, I can't stand that either. And before JT and I blow up and self destruct, we will go over the next bit of information that was revealed at Comic Con, which for me, it might be my favorite announcement of the night, other than Gosling, and that is the one and only David Jonsson as T'Challa Jr. in Black Panther 3, which
Yes.
will be shot partially on 70 millimeter film, which is so sick. People,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I don't think people realize how insane that is for Marvel.
Yeah. I love it for the fact that Ryan Coogler is back. This whole Black Panther trilogy is his baby. Letitia Wright was on stage. Winston Duke as M'Baku was also on stage. Um, Look, I love it. I cannot wait. Wakanda Forever. Every time I watch that end, I cry like a baby because it is
Yup.
one of the most emotional. Just seeing, yeah, I love it. I love it. And again, going back, people aren't liking it because T'Challa and Letitia, and then they're the same age. Look, I do think that there's going to be some some time meddling within Secret Wars because,
There's
like,
got to be.
if they're gonna do a reboot or if they're gonna do a um something, then like there's gonna have to be some you know time meddling of some sort. Like maybe this person, maybe Letitia writes, maybe it's gonna be like something like the blip again, where some people get like left behind or an incursion happens and they're on the wrong universe and time is different. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in the writing room. I'm not a director. I'm not any of that. I'm just saying that like I'm okay with the choice. And everyone else was like Letitia Wright, like in the post panel or Hall H, they did interviews and she was just raving and like loving the fact that he was now in this. Um, and like I know that this decision, I think I've saw an overwhelming amount of support with him. I know a lot of people
Mm.
wanted Damson Idris as Black Panther, but if you look at David Johnson and Chadwick Boseman, I think they did pretty great.
The
I'm not gonna
resemblance is
lie.
pretty insane.
I mean that's fantastic, and I think Black Panther's character alone has been the biggest like what could have been done because like obviously with the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman, you kind of had to rewrite the character in a way. But
Yes.
Marvel did it in a way that I think was perfect because you still honored him in the second movie while also keeping alive the mantle where Shuri is now the Black Panther because of it passes down, you know, and no one else wanted that title. So now it gets passed down to Ken, of the original Black Panther. So it's kind of like going back to its original form. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
taking back the mantle of what it was supposed to be. Um, Now, granted, if Chadwick was still with us, the whole thing would be a whole different story. We all know that,
Oh
but
yeah.
unfortunately, he's not, and we have to roll with what's going on here. And with them aging up T'Challa Jr. in from Wakanda Forever into David Johnson's character, it just makes sense. Like I don't like I think a lot of people are saying like recast the character as a whole. So T'Challa's Black Panther is Black Panther. I'm perfectly fine because in the comic, Shuri does become Black Panther. So you're
Yeah.
kind of going the same. I mean, you're still with the comic route. It's a different version. And then you have, T'Challa's son who gets, the power and gets that mantle passed down to him. So again, I'm not mad with it. I was always under the impression that they were going to wait until the perfect time. And
Mhm.
I think Marvel did it to where they made the perfect time themselves. They sat there and they said, "Okay, Ryan, we want you to write this movie, but also pay respects to Chadwick and T'Challa. Make sure that Shuri has to have this grow up moment, this maturity moment, but also keep that mantle still alive. And then let's throw in the fact that him and Nakia had a son, and then we can
Yeah.
name him T'Challa, and boom, 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 boom. So they organically made this moment, and
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with it.
I love it. And I think my only request when it comes down to the new Black Panther, because we're going to get some sort of sweet, awesome suit. I don't think they're going to go through and use the same one, being like, oh, this is the one that your father wore. Because I think, like you said, it's going to be one of those things where they're going to want to respect Chadwick to the highest degree.
Yeah.
And for me, I can speak for all Black Panther fans and for all Marvel fans. When it comes down to the new suit for David Johnson, give us a cape. I want a
Mm,
cape so bad.
yeah.
Like that would just
Yeah.
stick with me so well. And who knows? I know people were upset that Tino Huerta wasn't on the panel with them. Uh, maybe Namor is just not a big player in the third movie. I don't think that people are already freaking out saying, "Oh my God, he's gonna die in Doomsday." Who knows? Like we speculate so far ahead, and I think that's what a lot of people who were upset about this Comic Con reveal did was they got themselves too amped up because they were like, "Oh, we're kicking it off with Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider. We're definitely going to get the cast of X-Men."
Yeah.
Well, we can't because first of all, Brand New Day's not even out. Who knows if Sadie Sink is going to be Jean Grey? They're not going to announce an X-Men movie and spoil that she's Jean Grey before the movie comes out.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's too far. I think we get some sort of announcement from X-Men maybe at D23. JT and I were talking about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
feel like personally maybe a little too soon, but at the same time, Marvel does a good job with laying things out and putting the groundwork out for projects. And I'm not saying that people are going to forget about X-Men, but it's going to be one of those things where if they announce it at D23, people are going to be excited, but they're also going to understand that, this is post Secret Wars and a lot has to happen before we get there first.
Yeah, my whole thing with that, and I know you and I've spoken about this, like you mentioned. My whole thought process behind the X-Men casting is people were. I did see the same thing. People were upset that we didn't get an X-Men casting at Hall H. If this also just goes to show that Sadie Sink is most likely playing. I mean, I think a majority of people are like 95% sure that she's playing, but there's always that little bit that that
Yeah.
that that plays in the back of your mind. You're like, well, what if she's not? And by the way, if she is not Jean Grey, the internet will blow up.
I'm already preparing myself for if that happens, people are going, well, Brand New Day was trash
Dude,
because it
we were
didn't give us
told
Jean
we were
Grey.
told we were told this thing. We were told that thing. We were told that. It's like, no, you believed it because you heard it from
Exactly.
someone who thinks they're a scooper or who thinks this is why I scooper reality and leakers and stuff like that. It's like you can never trust them. You just
Nope.
can't. Sure, sometimes they're right and they nail it right on the head. Other times, nope. And
Yeah.
when it got when it started ramping up that she was playing Jean Grey, I was like, y'all better hold your horses. Like, don't sit here for too long. But let me say this. However, if she is Jean Grey in Spider-Man Brand New Day, if she is playing the first X-Men, why would you announce the rest of the cast to spoil that when the movie literally comes out
Right.
a week? Like, why would you do that? Because you know you've got to have your Jean Grey on stage. So D23 comes out. The movie's been out for over a month now, 3 weeks, whatever. It's doing great in the box office, you know. Uh, sure, be like, you saw our first X-Men in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, she comes on stage. Well, now let us meet your Cyclops. You show the Cyclops, and that's it. That's all I want. That's all I want. Just give me
Yeah,
just give me bits and pieces throughout time. Just that's it.
I would love it where it's like they introduce Sadie Sink on stage as Jean Grey, and she comes out and she's talking about like how it's so hard to keep a secret, whatnot, and maybe Feige just goes, well, we have a mutant, but you got to have a family, and I think that's when they do a logo reveal, and even if they do a Scott announcement, even if not, I think just saying that we have to have a family and maybe you just do silhouettes of the characters so you just kind of don't know who exactly it's going to be. I would love that so much. And I know
Yeah.
Marvel's creative enough to do something like that. Then it's going to be an exciting future. And I think with SDCC, when it ended, me and JT had said the same thing. It was, I love this.
Yep.
It was great because it's not too much. They didn't soak up everybody's time and do it. They were just hitting the ground running. They
Yeah.
were like, "Yep, here are the announcements we're doing. We're not going to delve too deep because there's still two huge, events that are going to be coming up. So don't expect anything after that point."
Yeah. And let me throw this out here before we move on. Um, do you have an idea of who you would want as Scott in X-Men?
Hmm. I've never thought about it because shout out to all my friends growing up. I love James Marsden so much. I love him as
Mm,
Cyclops. I know he's older now. I don't want him in the new one, but when it comes down to Cyclops, I just can't see anybody else being him. And I haven't really looked at, the actors that we have right now that are around the age of Sadie Sink cuz I'm assuming she's what, maybe 22, 23 years old,
yeah, I would
roughly
say. I would
around
say.
there.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody right now on the top of my head that I'm like, what that is my Cyclops, or like that is Beast, or that is
Yeah.
Angel. Like I can't. There's no one that really comes to my head. Do you have anybody in particular?
Yeah, I actually do. Let me throw you out there to him. Wouldn't it be nice if we have David Jonsson as Black Panther and Cooper Hoffman as Cyclops?
Ooh, I see what you're doing there, and I wouldn't hate that actually.
I mean, it would be it would be something. And you said age. Cooper Hoffman is only a year older than Sadie Sink. He
I
was
think
born in
with Cooper, you
2003.
go through and the Marvel does a good job at this too, and I'm not trying to say that anybody's out of shape. They know how to give them a Marvel look. When
Yep.
you get to one of these movies, I think I think he could pull it off because he has that. I think he has that range and the ability to be kind of like how we see him in X-Men '97, where he's
Yeah.
trying really hard to be a leader, but there's a lot that he's still struggling with,
Yeah.
and I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I just think that, like, I mean, I love the Long Walk. Long Walk was one of my favorite movies last year, and I I think that both of their performances really helped them into what they're doing next. Um, so you just never know. You never know. Everybody has their own personal casting. I won't be mad at whoever they pick.
Mhm.
But I do like that idea that you said, like, you know we you bring on Sadie Sink at D23. She talks about how she's very excited to have this character in her life and blah 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 blah. And then Kevin Feige was like, um, but if you know the X Men, you know that there's a family. Like you said, show the logo, and then maybe give us a director. Well, we already know. Well, actually, we already know
we know the director. Yeah,
It's,
we got the
yeah,
director.
Schreier from Thunderbolts. So maybe he comes up on stage and he's talking, and then maybe that's when you hear like, oh, what if they did this? And we'll move on after this. Sorry, I'm just having
No, go
like
ahead. Go
so many
ahead.
thoughts. What if you hear a voice line from an actor that says, "To me,
Oh,
my X-Men," and that's it.
oh,
And then you get the logo of the new X-Men movie. And
I'd
then
freak out.
people online will start speculating who that voice is. Cuz
Oh, that'd be so sick.
Marvel loves their online speculation. They love the clicks and the videos and talking like we're doing right now. They love it. They love it.
Yeah.
That's what eats it up. Um but like at least they're at the panels, at least they're at SDCC, unlike some other people.
Yeah. The one thing I will say before we jump right into the next topic is a question for the audience. When it comes down to this new X-Men movie that we're getting, this new family that we're getting, and JT, you can answer this too if you have it on the top of your head, but who would you have as your first family? Like, who are the characters that you're picking to be in this X-Men lineup in this first film that we see? Because I'm on board with everybody when they're saying like, yeah, avoid Wolverine to
Yes.
start.
Yeah, no, I don't want Wolverine. I don't want. Here the characters. I got to be careful with this because some of the characters I don't want to see are ones that we have seen too much of.
Hmm.
However, we are not seeing a lot of. We've already seen a lot of Wolverine with Hugh Jackman.
Yep.
Let that character have its rest time. Let that character rest for a bit and then introduce him later on. Um, Same with Magneto and Charles Xavier. We've seen them, maybe Charles a little bit. Maybe Charles can be like a background character. But
Hmm.
my characters that I want to focus on would be a Scott Summers, Jean Grey. Those two are going to be our leaders.
Yep.
Uh, I think then you'll probably need to get like a Jubilee. I would love to see a Jubilee on screen.
That would be so sick.
Um, maybe like maybe a Beast, but like
You do have to
I
have
don't
the
know.
brains though.
Yeah, and then get me because I only really want five. I really just want like maybe 4 or 5. So like you have Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Jubilee, and then the last two. Give me Iceman and Kitty Pryde.
That would be fun actually. If I had to go through and pick out five, I would agree it would be, Scott Summers, Jean Grey. Uh, for me, I mean, I've always loved Beast. He's just he's such like a warm presence, but he's also like a badass when he has to be.
Yeah.
So I'd probably have Beast in there, and I would pick from the comics. We've never seen them in live action before, but I would pick Armor.
Mm.
Uh, sh- I think that would be fun. It's either Armor or Jubilee because I think Jubilee deserves like the live action Marvel treatment,
Yeah.
Marvel Studios treatment, I should say. And then I would go with Angel
Mm.
as my last. I think
Okay.
that would be my 5.
Okay. I also think that if you do like I know the rumor right now is Mr. Sinister being the first villain. That's fine. We haven't gotten a Mr. Sinister, and I heard that Adam Driver is, reportedly in talks, whatever. Again, we don't know. We're just hearing what people are saying online. Um, Here's my thing. I would want the team to come together to fight Mr. Sinister and then start the X-Men. Not already be a part of the
Yes.
X-Men. Like start that's where the X-Men get their kind of like not in the same vein, but also in the same, the not in the same vein, but the same finger. Give me like how New Mutants did it. A ragtag group of people who didn't really know each other, didn't really care about each other. Um, and then they team up and become this team by the end of it. Give me that story, but with X-Men characters. Now I know
Yeah.
New Mutants does have X-Men characters, whatever, but give me and then maybe in the post credit scene be like, um, you know, oh, I guess we're a team now. Like, where should we go next? And then it pans over and it's like Xavier's School for the Gifted. It's like like there, like boom, there's your pathway. Like
Yeah.
go from there. Don't give me. I mean, look, Sir Patrick Stewart is, I mean, unbelievably and undeniably the best and the only, really, well, not the only, but the best, Professor X, hands down.
Yeah.
Anytime I see him, I that's all I think about. Anytime I think of Professor X, I think of Sir Patrick Stewart. So you've got to give that character some time. I've always been a firm believer of if you're going to recast or if you're going to make a new movie, you've got to let some of these characters have their rest time, have
Yes.
their time to sit back and so where people don't forget about them per se, but people are like it's not a want, it's not a need. Um,
Right.
so once we see Professor X and Magneto in Doomsday and possibly Secret Wars, who knows? However they go away, however they die, however whatever, let them rest until a couple years down the road.
Until you figure
Bring
it
them
out.
to it. Bring them to in the second movie of the X-Men.
Yeah.
Make them where it's like, okay, you start the movie out with their past, and then maybe the second movie is like fighting against the Brotherhood of Evil. Again, I'm all. This is just speculation, but this is. I would not want to see a Magneto or a Professor Xavier in my first X-Men movie. I want to know
I
these
agree.
other ragtag, like this younger ragtag group of teenagers learning about their power, fighting a guy like Mister Sinister, and then moving forward, being like, oh, now we have to go to the school. Oh, it's the school of Professor Xavier's School for the Gifted, and then maybe that's where we introduce to a Storm, or to whatever like that. That's how you introduce those characters. But um, that's how I would do it, honestly.
I agree. And so if there's one character that I guess I would really want, I don't even want them in the main five, but if you're showing a little bit of a background of mutants when you're at the school for gifted youngsters, is there a certain X-Men that's maybe like a one-off X-Men that you would really want to see?
I I would love to see Morph.
Yes. I
I
would
would
love to
love to
see
see
Morph,
Morph.
and for my pick, I would love to see Dupe.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew
I
you were
think
gonna say that.
I've been reading so much with anything that has Dupe inside of it because he is just such a fun character to me. I don't even know who I would want voicing him. I could say what I think initially that comes to my head whenever I see a picture of him, and that's
Seth
Seth
Rogen.
Rogen. It's Seth. That is that is so crazy. It is Seth Rogen.
That
Yeah, for me, it's either Seth Rogen or maybe someone like I don't know Zach Galifianakis. They have to have like a
I
goofy
was
voice for me.
I I'm sorry. Okay, for those listeners, again, we talk about behind the scenes. Steven and I do not plan these conversations. So the fact
No,
that we
never.
both said the fact that we both said that's so funny.
That's insane.
Oh my oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, for
No,
people
moving
that don't
on.
know me outside the pod, I am a huge Seth Rogen fan, and I bothered JT and our good friend Sean with how much I love him.
Oh, dude, Sean's the biggest Seth Rogen fan. He is like his number one fan. It's crazy.
He really
Um,
is.
I mean, he can do the voice like no other. That laugh.
Oh yeah.
But moving on, we're talking about how Marvel has this big presence at SDCC. Now, this isn't a Marvel panel like all week. This is a 1 hour, 1 day thing. All week they have different panels for different, IPs. There was one IP and one studio that decided not to show up and not to announce some things, not to, showcase some of their newer things. They did have one panel to talk about one show that's coming out very soon. But Steven, DC was not there.
Nope.
And now people, our listeners, are going to say, yes, they were. They were talking about lanterns and da da da. Yes, you're right. They talked about lanterns for 20 minutes about
Hmm.
stuff we already knew. I'm sorry, but that panel did nothing for me. There was nothing
No.
noteworthy. There was nothing noteworthy about the panel. It was a showcase of the new trailer, which we saw. It was to talk about the characters, which we know about. So I just really, there wasn't really much of an interest for me, at least. Um, and you're in this new era of DC. You're in the DCU. James Gunn, Peter Safran coming in hot with Superman 2025, blows it out of the water. Kind of fails a little bit with Supergirl. Has a mystery with Clayface on their heels. Don't know what the heck or who the heck is in Man of Tomorrow. Apparently, every DC character's in that
Every
movie.
single person.
But then you start getting like, okay, we've got Creature Commandos. That's a great show. Then you got Peacemaker season 2. Loved it, except for that finale. Why do we need a Jimmy Olsen Gorilla Grodd movie? And why is Jimmy Tatro voicing Gorilla Grodd? That I do not like that casting. Um, I I don't know, man. I'm kind of, I'm not off the you know, the high horse or the excitement level for the DCU. I think there's still so much that they can do that I'm still excited that they can do it, right? It's
Mhm.
just, what are they doing now? Because apparently the reason why, and this is, according to sources, the reason why they were not at SDCC was because James Gunn believes full-heartedly that the price of what they were going to show was, and the price of being at the convention and stuff, was too much, and they'd rather garner more attention for free over social media. My guy, do you think that there was any Marvel haters in that, like, in that Hall H? There would be no one but supporters of your DCU in that. Like, when when these trailers get dropped, a lot of hate, a lot of negativity come from it. I mean, you and I saw Supergirl.
Oh yeah.
We now have seen the backlash of Supergirl online. Like, sometimes you just got to go out there. I would have loved to see James Gunn drop like a roadmap or talk about, something. I just don't know, because like the way that it's going is like, your first three big movies, I should say, three out of the four big movies are all Superman based, Superman related, with Superman, Supergirl, Man of Tomorrow. Clayface, I think, will do really well because of the genre that it's in, that horror, body
Yeah.
horror, never really done before in this kind of genre movie. That's good. That intrigues me to the highest. Um, but also, we don't know if that's in Elseworlds or the DCU. Oh, but wait, James Gunn does come out and say that it is in the DCU. It's the same Clayface that we saw in Creature Commandos a couple of years ago. Hmm, that's interesting. Okay. So now we're playing a little backup. Like, this is like, did anybody ask for this? Like, I just get so confused with what James Gunn is doing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it all?
Yeah, and I think you and I have had some really good conversations with Mike or Sean about things like this, where it feels like James Gunn just has a lot that he wants to use, and when it comes down to where he sets his time, it just doesn't make sense. And I think Mike made a really good point a few days ago when we were talking about it. It feels like James Gunn is pulling stuff in that would be like a phase 3 or a phase 4 project in phase
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
We're not even officially 5 movies into the DCU at all, and we're already leaning towards a really big event with the second Superman movie, Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think with the reception of Supergirl, now that she is going to be like a co-lead in the movie, I'm only worried that people are going to try to bomb the movie because of that. And I think it's really unfortunate. Uh, but it worries me with, like you said, we're getting a Jimmy Olsen Gorilla Grodd TV series, and it's gonna be like a buddy cop true crime kind of show. And I I get it, but I only get it if you've already established these characters. Because with Gorilla Grodd, you don't have anything with Flash in the universe yet, which I mean that just doesn't make sense. And
Yep.
I don't know. We don't have Batman, guys. Like I've
No.
told this to the guys before. Peacemaker has the most screen time in the DCU, and no Batman. So here's my thing. Here's the way that I'm thinking. When we get Batman, James Gunn has to go back on Creature Commandos, being remember that Batman that we saw there in Creature Commandos? That's this Batman.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
he has to go back and connect everything to that show, even though they did a lot of things really different. And we have no mention of the Bride of Frankenstein, no Frankenstein, things like that. And it's gonna be, I don't know. I think he's getting a little too antsy. I want to say that James Gunn has an idea as to what he wants to do, but as of right now, it's just I'm waiting on the next project. I gotta see it to really believe it at this point.
Yeah. And speaking of the next project, we've already talked about it. It is Lanterns coming out in August. Um, I've said it on our trailer reaction. I'm like at a level 6 of excitement, just because Green Lantern, any adaptation of Green Lantern, John Stewart, Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan, whoever you want to call him, was not always my favorite character, my favorite superhero character. So like, I just don't have a lot of interest in him. And
Mhm.
Kyle Jordan, or I mean, the actor playing Hal, Kyle Chandler. I just see him in Friday Night Lights. Like I don't see him
Yeah.
as like, I just don't see him as Hal Jordan. I'm just like, he's a coach on the football field. Like that's all I see him as, honestly. And I know that's bad to say, but whatever. Um, yeah, I just, it's very interesting because we know that James Gunn has a very good track record of making non-household names household names. We saw it with the
Mhm.
Guardians. Um, we saw it with Peacemaker. Um, so it's, I just want to know why they believe that like online solicitation, I guess you can call it, or marketing, is better than having an in-person SDCC appearance that would probably have done tenfold of what you're going to get online. You know,
Yeah. Even if
um,
they just did like a lanterns panel, like you could have just done a lanterns panel, a 30-minute panel. That's it.
hmm yeah, yeah. Just I don't know, I don't know. And there's a video going around of a lot of the people on the lanterns uh, cast, and they were doing the lanterns. I guess chant, not chant, but like
Their oath.
what do you? Yeah, their oath. Thank you. And you could tell that it was just a lot of mouth moving and a lot of nodding their head and hoping they get it right. They did with it, yeah, yeah. And I'm not like, I know what it sounds like to the audience. Sounds like that I'm a hater of DC. I don't like DC. I actually really love DC. I want them to do good. I really want them to do well. Like, for the sake of Marvel and Marvel to do well in the sake of DC. Iron sharpens iron. Like, I never look at it as a competition of who's better, this or that. It's always, I want them both to succeed so they both can elevate their game when the other person succeeds. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it just makes more sense that way. Sure, do I prefer Marvel over DC? Yes. But am I still a fan of DC? Absolutely. I will watch anything that they drop. I'm not a big Lanterns fan, and I'm going to watch Lanterns when it drops. Like,
Right.
that's just how
And I
it
think the
is.
only thing that just doesn't help is maybe that with Marvel, they have had a, a really solid, great track record going back to Iron Man,
Yeah.
because they had this foundation, they had a universe. Feige planned it out very, meticulously. And I think with DC, you had your failed run at what could have been a universe.
Yep.
Obviously, with the Snyder fans and everything like that here, and no diss to the Snyder fans because I am one of you. I do like the Snyder cut, but there are a lot of things that are just wrong with those characters. And I mean, even the studio themselves didn't believe in that universe. That's why we got James Gunn. That's why they said, okay, let's hit the reset button. What do you want to
Yep.
do?
Yep.
So when it comes down to, like JT said, I mean, I've always been a huge DC fan. I have a bunch of DC stuff that I'm in love with, but it's really like he said, it's iron sharpens iron. Competition's great for everybody. It elevates them to the highest of their games when they're on the highest level of success. And also, just as comic book fans and nerds, guys, we eat good when they're both doing great. So
Yep.
that's why you should root for both. And I understand people have their preferences. I get it. But that's just what I think.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, 100%. Um, yeah, I just wish DC was there, and maybe they surprise us with something, down the road, and they're like, oh, hey, we're gonna be at this panel talking about this. Like, I don't know,
Right.
but one of your biggest Comic Cons of the year, SDCC, lines are packed. It's you gotta pay an arm and a leg just to get in. Come on now, like,
Treat the
just have an
fans.
appearance. Yeah, have an appearance. Um, but yeah, that's all I got for today's show. I'm done
That's
ranting and
I think
rambling.
I think we hit a good peak of everything we needed to cover. And it sucks that Mike's not here to really go through and introduce this new era that we've been teasing for, I want to say, 3 weeks now. We've had teasers from video drops to just dates that are kind of, cryptic and whatnot. But
Hmm.
this is the first episode of the rebrand. We are laying to rest the quantum couch as we know it. Uh, and it's not in any way of disrespect to what we did, but we felt as fans introducing Mike, introducing this new, level of fandom for people. Mike's a huge horror guy, and we want that different, point of view, and we love different conversations. That's why we felt the need to change this show and not make it superhero based and just call it the Fandom Frequency, because every fandom has its frequency with us, and we want to delve into more, because I'm sure there's going to be episodes in the future where JT, Mike, and I have maybe, hopefully, a 3 hour talk about Lord of the Rings. Like, there are episodes that we really want to get into, and I believe with this next step in this new era that we're really going to be able to achieve that.
Yeah,
And there's
absolutely.
still a lot of things behind the scenes that we have planning for everybody. We're going to try to introduce video soon. There's no set timeline on that, but that is something we are working on. Um, Trailer reactions as a group we're trying to play around with too. Those are a lot of fun, doing some discussions. But overall, it really is just a super exciting next step. But that's it for me, JT. What are some things that you got for us when it comes down to the Fandom Frequency?
Yeah, yeah. It's a fun new chapter, new phase into this evolution of what we've got going on. Um, Things change, things evolve, but we're continuing to put content out for you guys, make episodes. I've said it time and time again on this episode, at least. Um, Go follow our socials, because if you're not
Yeah.
following Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, not Twitter, well, maybe Twitter, TikTok, like, just go and jump on those, because we are there. We have a Discord. Jump on the Discord. Like, anywhere that you can find us. We are under our media company on a majority of things, and that is the Transcend Entertainment. That is not changing, and neither is
Mm.
Past the Silver Screen. That is strictly movie based when it doesn't come to like conversations like this. Like, we would have these conversations on Fandom Frequency, but when you go over to Past the Silver Screen, you're going to be talking about the Odyssey, and you're going to be talking about Project Hail Mary, and movies like that, where it's a singular movie delving into stuff like that. So, very excited for more stuff on Past the Silver Screen. Definitely excited for the future of Fandom Frequency. I hope I can speak for Mike since he's not here, but just in talking with him, he is very excited to bring a different, unique perspective into this podcast and this new phase of the podcast.
Mhm.
And yeah, we can't wait. I'm excited.
It's going to be super exciting, we and I'm going to speak for JT and Mike here because I think we're all on the same page. We see every single comment, we see the likes, we see all the support, and we truly appreciate it. and we're just excited to take you guys on this next chapter with us because I don't think we've ever been as excited for something as we are with this. This is just a bigger. It's a new a new page in the book, and we got to respect what we did before. And with this episode, as you guys could see too, it's a lot less different than the Quantum Couch. The Quantum Couch, we were very segment based. We were very just talk about a subject. This one is a lot more open. We're having open conversations. It's a lot more, fun and whimsical and kind of goofing around with each other, as you guys saw in the intro. And that's really what we wanted to bring to you guys, is kind of just unveiling the curtain on really who we are as people too. And we're just stoked for you guys to see it. But I appreciate you guys, JT and Mike. We all love you guys, and we can't wait to see you on the next episode. So just make sure to tune in.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to get you all prepared for next week's episode, um, let's just say once we start recording, it'll be a brand new day. We'll see you then.